First, thank you, Naif, and the panelists for your insights. My question is addressed and comment to Mohammed. So I recently started to notice that many of the consultants and the developers use the Agile methodology as a way or a safeguard not to deliver an end goal. So, for example, you would hire a consultant or a developer, you would sign a contract, let's say, for 6 months, and they even themselves advise the use of Agile methodology, for example. And then after 6 months, after many iterations or sprints or any method that you use that follows Agile methodology, you do not end up with an end objective or an end goal, and they use that as an excuse just to issue a change request or to sign a new contract. So my question specifically is, how can you benefit or reap the benefits of Agile methodology while at the same time achieving your end goal and respecting the budget or the initial resources that you allocate to the project?
Sorry, can I try to answer as a customer? So he and I are both pointing at you. I think, certainly our own journey, I absolutely get you in terms of it's very easy to lay it out on the supply side and just say they didn't deliver. They got all these like Kanban, Scrum, extreme programming, yeah, all of that, and then they promise all of that. As you say, oh, what happens 6 months down the track, and then you end up being, oh, a change request, please, sir, another check, all right? I think what we can do on the customer side is that it's a joint partnership. I think one of the danger about hiding behind the banner of Agile is about let's do things fast, right? But don't never lose sight about what do we set out to achieve and hold ourselves accountable. For example, the trouble is that if you keep experimenting, the trouble is that you never know when you got to the end or not. So if the goalposts keep moving, eventually it literally becomes time material. You just ran out of time and you just don't know whether or not you got to the goal. So one of the lessons we have learned as a customer is to be very, very clear about what is the outcome we're looking for and have those conversations very early on, and maybe have a little bit of division or responsibility of what's a consultant's job in that Agile journey and what's our job as a customer. What are we accountable for? Are we there to prioritize? Are we there to provide direction? If we simply leave it at consultants, the whims to do, I think, we treat them like our extended team. If they fail, we fail. So it's in our best interest to get involved, and that will be my response. Mohammed, I'd be interested to hear your view on the consulting side.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the question and the answer. So basically, it's a very legitimate question actually that comes to the table whenever we're talking about an Agile delivery, because talking about Agile, then we need to be flexible in terms of either time or scope or so basically that's usually solved by correcting the confusion about having an Agile delivery. It's not about having 6 months of work and then you fail to deliver at the end and then you're requesting to stretch the time and I will pay the expense for that. Having an Agile delivery for a project, it needs to have a certain plan with specific requirements, yes, and you will go with iterations. Each and every iteration, you as a customer have the access to assess the progress, and you will know eventually where you stand at the moment. It's still too far from the end of the project and we are still progressing with some features and functionalities, okay? So basically, whenever we are stepping together along the way in order to achieve the final goal of the project, you are not kept in the shadows, or myself will keep myself in the shadows. You don't know what's the progress, and I will come to you at the end with a surprise that we didn't achieve and we need more and more time because actually we are Agile. No, it will not work like that. So basically, if after 6 months of progress, delivery, follow-up, and actually discussion with each other, because Agile, it's all about how we communicate and partner over the value. So basically, you as a customer need to be with me along the journey in order to see what I'm currently doing. And if I'm not fulfilling your expectations, it's not about the end of the project. It's about the progress that we have and the checkpoints that we do along the way in order, to see, Muhammad, you're not fulfilling the expectations and I expected more. You need to either change your way of work or actually I'll not continue the project. That's not the end of mind of the project. That actually happens in each and every checkpoint according to the governance and the model that we agree together. So what I mean is, yes, Agile makes it flexible in terms of scope and time maybe, but it allows us to catch up each and every time over the progress so far. And maybe at a certain point of time, you as a customer requires from me to change the scope itself and extend the time functionality. And I will agree with you that I will change that because we're moving on an agile basis. So basically, you, after 3 months, I'm delivering a checkpoint, a certain sprint, and you told me that, it's not fulfilling the perfect value that I need because we have a change in the business, and the business required from us to fulfill that and that as well. So I will cater for that, but I will tell you we might be in exposed position in terms of time, and that will take some time to put in the sprints and all of that in order to have the final product. So it's a mutual agreement, I may say. You will not have a fixed time, fixed scope, and you'll work agile. It will fail, okay? And if you work it purely time and material based on a waterfall method, that's actually, I will go to develop the whole solution and come up to you with, after 8 months, with a failing position that I failed to achieve the target. That's not also an agile way of developing the progress or developing the project. So as David said, there is a consultant here who needs really to know how to develop that in an agile way and how to meet the customer expectations on the other side in order to maneuver between, scope, requirement, timeline, and all of that stuff.
And by the way, Mohammed's company doesn't do software development. He's the kind of expert you need on your team to help you to solve that problem. I think maybe, a conversation after this, I think would be great.
Yeah.